I'm going to break up with my fiance today. Our wedding is next week. My fiance, who I'll call Jackson, is very picky about how things look, but has never made any comments about me or the way I do things. I had a beautiful dress for the wedding that was designed by my oldest brother. My oldest brother, who I'll call Percy, was a small-time designer, and he made my sister and cousin's wedding dresses, and he made one for me when I was 20. Percy had a malignant primary cardiac tumor, which is just a long phrase for heart cancer, and was diagnosed when he was 21 and died when he was 23. I've always kept the dress he made in my closet, and I planned on having it made to my measurement when I got married. I already had it tailored for me. I never showed Jackson the dress, and I never told him who made it. Jackson never met Percy because I met Jackson after Percy died, and last night I showed him the dress for the very first time, and he said, "Whoever made that dress clearly doesn't know anything about fashion. We're buying you a new dress tomorrow." I didn't say anything and just left to stay with my sister for the night. The mistake I made was leaving the dress in mine in Jackson's apartment after I had left. When I got back this morning, I found my dress torn to shreds. I immediately called Jackson and started screaming at him. I told him the dress was one of a kind and couldn't be replaced. He said that I could always just buy another dress, one that actually looks good. I haven't told him that I'm going to break up with him yet. I plan on waiting until he gets home and talking to him, and then going to stay at my sister's house for a while. I feel horrible for what happened to the dress, and I'm really sad that I'll never be able to walk down the aisle in the one-of-a-kind wedding dress that my big brother made for me before he died.
Let's talk about how I dealt with all the hate I got in high school for trying to be an influencer. I'm waiting till we hit 1 million to share with you guys how I got started and everything that I did. But let's just say it has not been easy. So I've always known that I just love being behind a camera, whether it's editing, taking photos, making videos, like literally anything. I always made little YouTube videos and stuff when I was in middle school, but I never really posted them. So when I started doing TikTok and stuff, I kind of just started posting get ready with me's because those were trending and I really liked to make them. Let me tell you, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. Thank God when I started, I went and blocked like 500 people from my school because I didn't want anyone to find my account. I didn't even tell my friends about it or anything. I literally would post and get 0 views for like months, and eventually someone from my school did end up finding my account. I just remember like having 5,000 followers. Someone showed me that one of my old friends had sent one of my videos into their group chat. Literally right then and there, like my stomach dropped, like my heart literally stopped beating. I was like, I'm done posting. I'm deleting my account. Like I'm not doing this. This is so embarrassing. So I'm not gonna lie, I did take a break. I was super embarrassed. I didn't really deal with hate well at the time because I cared so much about what everyone thought about me. I decided to post like one more time that week and it just happened to blow up. So I was like, okay, this is a sign, like I should keep doing this. So I kept doing it. You know, I really loved it. Like it got me up in the morning. I got to talk to someone, even if it was just on my phone. Like I really enjoyed doing it. I was getting followers. My account was kind of taking off. I remember being at like 16.4K when this all happened. I just remember being at a basketball game and a guy that I was kind of friends with showed me their group chat, and they had been sending my videos into the group chat, like every single one of them. And I read some of the things that they were saying about me, and again my stomach just dropped. I was like, okay, I'm literally done. This is awful. Like what the heck. Reading the guys group chat was more disrespectful, whereas the girls was more hurtful. But like either way, reading guys or girls, like both of them were so rude and so hateful and just so like not supporting me at all. Once I hit about 20,000, I caught on quite quickly that most of my grade knew about my TikTok. If you guys are unfamiliar, my TikTok name is Sozzled. It's completely random, but I've just always kept it. I don't know why. People would always call me Sozzled, and I always thought they were like hyping me up, you know, being my friends, but little did I know they were literally making fun of me to my face like half the time. Some of my best friends that I would be super happy about some of my videos blowing up or gaining some followers would literally just go behind my back and talk crap about it. So that kind of hurt when I found that out too. So slowly my account kept growing, and I got to a point where people couldn't really make fun of it anymore, but it wasn't something super big. Maybe I had like 100K or 200K, you know, like that middle ground. And I learned really fast the difference between judgment, jealousy, and wannabe. I didn't have a lot of followers and I was just starting out. It was super easy to look at my page and just laugh and be like, oh my gosh, this girl thinks she's like an influencer, like ew, it's cringy. Like I thought the same thing, but once you hit that middle ground, it gets to a point where you can't just look at it and laugh, you know, like it's turning it into something, and that's when people get jealous. It's at a stage where people don't really want to be friends with you because of it, but they look at it and they want it and they're jealous of it, and they start to act out in that way. They stop making fun of you because you're cringy. They make fun of you because they're jealous of you. Towards the end of this year is where I kind of noticed people wanting to be friends with me way more. I haven't had a lot of friends my senior year, especially I was not friends with the girls that started to come up to me and be nice to me and like try to be friends with me almost. Like the same girls that would send my videos to their group chats were trying to be friends with me. So I was very accepting of it. I'm not a very judgmental person, but I never let it get to my head because I knew that there was no way without my social media that these girls would want to be my friends at all. Especially when the only thing they ever talk to you about is your social media. It's just really weird seeing the turnaround because they're not acting jealous anymore. or they just act like they want to be my friends. Like, they're trying to get in videos, they try and get my PR, like, and I'm totally fine with that. Like, I do not care. But I keep a mental note. Like, I'm not stupid. It just got to a point at the end of the year where literally anything anyone talked to me about was my social media. Which is fine because I'm really excited about it and I love it, but it's just kind of hard talking to those people about it when you know they were literally preying on your downfall months earlier. All I can say in the end is do what you want, because if you put 100% of your effort into something, it's gonna happen. Like, eventually it has to happen if you give it your everything. I just have to say, never in a million years, if you asked me a year ago when I started my TikTok if I could say I'd be almost at 1 million followers, but like, we're almost at 1 million followers. Not someone that's super popular, has a lot of friends. Like, I'm literally a student athlete. I've always focused on school. I've always been an athlete, and I just happen to have a girly side that I really wanted to express on camera. Even if that's not you, even if you're an introvert, or you just like to do makeup, or you just like to talk, or you just want to do vlogs, like literally anything. If you want to have a platform and you want to post, just do it. This is your sign. I want to say no one cares and no one's gonna judge you, but that is just not the truth. So I'm coming on here to tell you that people will judge you, people will be jealous of you, and it really sucks. But as long as you know where you want to go and you're having fun with it, literally so many girls do this. Just do it. I wasn't the best at dealing with hate at all. I care a lot about what people think about me, so there were times where I just didn't want to do it anymore, but like, I kept doing it because I really enjoyed it. Like, it's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it, but it's hard because if you put in 100% of your effort, like, it's gonna pay off. So yeah, I hope that helped, knowing that this journey hasn't been easy for me. It's been really hard. I've gotten a lot of hate. Sadly, not online, only from people that I know in real life. I'm not gonna say don't care what people think, because I definitely care what people think, but you just gotta know that you're having fun with it and you wanna do what you wanna do.
I kicked my little sister out of my wedding over a dress, and now I'm the villain of my family. I'm just gonna be straight up about it. My little sister is a wretched troll. And I'm not even being dramatic. She is the most selfish, horrible person I have ever met. One time in college, I had to go to the hospital for appendicitis, and as I'm getting ready to go into surgery, I hear that my little sister had just been admitted to the hospital for chest pains because she thought she was having a heart attack. I later learned this was 100% fake. She admitted that to me. Apparently, she didn't like that I was getting all the attention. I had appendicitis, girl. Like, I don't know what you mean. Honestly, I blame a lot of her bad behavior on my parents because they let her get away with it and they encourage it. I mean, they don't understand why she doesn't have any friends, has never been in a serious long-term relationship. It's like, guys, nobody can put up with her. She's horrible. For example, when I announced to my family that I was engaged, she freaked out, threw a temper tantrum, and stormed out. She said that it was so cruel of me to get engaged before she's even been in a serious relationship. And my parents agreed with her. They said that I could have waited a little bit, to just be a little bit more sensitive to her, because I know that that's something that she's insecure about. I'm sorry, but if I postponed being engaged to when she finally got a boyfriend, I would never be able to get married, because I cannot imagine a single man that would ever put up with that girl. The drama started when I announced my wedding party and my little sister found out that she was not going to be my maid of honor. Like, first of all, I didn't even want her in my wedding party to begin with, but my mom told me I had to. If I wanted them to contribute any money into my wedding at all, she had to be a bridesmaid. I tried to tell her that she wouldn't want to be my maid of honor because there's just a ton of responsibilities and things that she'd have to do, and shocker, she hates planning anything. But she continued to cry and tell me that it was horrible and that she deserves to be my maid of honor because she's my sister. Finally, I was like, girl, you're lucky you're in my wedding party at all. You are horrible to me all of the time. And I feel like you're going to do something to ruin my wedding, which made her even more upset. It was like, how could you say that to me? You're the worst sister ever. After that dramatic episode died down, the next issue came when it came to her bridesmaid's dress. Now, my idea was that all of my bridesmaids were going to wear light pink, but I really liked the idea of the mismatched dress look, meaning everybody was going to be wearing a long dress, but they could wear different fabrics, different patterns. I just wanted them to all have unique dresses and wear something that they loved and felt comfortable in. So they really had autonomy to pick whatever dress they wanted. It just had to be long and light pink. But of course, my sister had a problem with this, and she said that she wanted to wear a black dress. I was like, this isn't a debate. Like, this isn't a negotiation. You're gonna wear a light pink dress if you want to be in my wedding party. I told her, if you want to wear a black dress, you can. You just won't be standing up with me at my wedding. You can just sit in the audience in your black dress, which of course made her start sobbing. Like, what do you want? You can wear a pink dress and be my wedding party. You can wear a black dress and not be my wedding party. Two great options. She said that she was refusing to buy a pink dress, which makes no sense because she wears pink all the time. But that if I wanted her to wear pink, I could buy her dress for her. And she would only wear a designer dress. I did not want to deal with her anymore, so I said, you know what? Fine. She picked out a very expensive dress, and I paid for it. Actually, I ended up cutting into my floral budget, and I couldn't get the flowers that I wanted for the reception. But whatever, I was dealing with the drama. My sister had a pink dress. Everything was going smoothly, and she started to actually stop complaining, which is when I should have got suspicious. So my wedding day comes, and my sister actually arrives on time, which was shocking because she's perpetually late. And she's complaining a lot less than usual getting ready. I mean, she's still complaining a lot, but less than I would expect her to. She has her dress in kind of a garment bag, so I can't see it, but she brought it. Seems like she has everything in order, and I'm starting to feel a lot less stressed. I should have kept my guard up. Never let your guard down if you have a sister like this. When it's time for everyone to change into their dresses, she's kind of hanging back. Everyone else gets changed, and she just says that her dress is a little uncomfortable, so she wants to wait until closer to the ceremony. And this is when I start getting suspicious because I've known this girl her whole life, and I know exactly what her game is. So I say, no, put it on right now. I want to see the dress. And we start arguing a little bit. She's like, don't tell me what to do. And I said, it's my wedding day. I can tell you what to do, okay? I can tell you what to do today. Go put your dress on. So tell me why, when my sister comes back from changing, she is wearing a short black dress. I almost lost it right there. I was like, okay, this joke isn't funny. The joke is, go put your dress on. And she was like, this is my dress. I was like, where's the one I bought for you, that I paid for, that I had to dip into my reception budget for? And she was like, oh, yeah, that, I gave it to my friend. Like, she liked it, and I thought it was ugly. So, you thought it was ugly? You had the option of, like, hundreds and hundreds of light pink dresses, so. And I just look at her, and I say, get out. Now, she's speechless, absolutely speechless. She's like, what are you saying? I'm like, get out, leave. You are not even going to be attending my wedding today. She's like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe you're doing this to me. You're so mean, you're the worst. And then my mom and my grandma come over, and they start being like, it's not that big of a deal, Kels. Like, honestly, I think that it can look good with the pink dress. What, you still really think that I'm gonna let her stand up there after she pulled this? And I'm like, y'all cannot be serious. You guys cannot be condoning this type of behavior. This is why she is the way she is. I didn't ask her to do anything for this wedding. I bought the dress. The least she can do is wear it, and she can't even do that. I don't want her here. She's causing me stress. I want her out. I didn't even want her in this wedding party anyway. Get her out of this venue right now. And my maid of honor is the MVP, because as my family is all yelling at me, my little sister's crying, she just takes my little sister by the arm and leads her right out the door and says, shoo shoo, shoo shoo, not today. Then I proceeded to have the most beautiful ceremony of all time. Drama-free, stress-free, no hiccups. It was amazing. Until the reception, when my family confronted me, a whole group of them, my mom, my dad, my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, and said that I needed to call my little sister and apologize and beg her to come join me at the reception. I'm sorry, apologize? Apologize. Apparently, I really hurt her feelings, and she's absolutely distraught. She was texting them during the whole ceremony. Of course she was texting them during the whole ceremony, because, you know, my wedding ceremony was about me. She probably hated that. But I said no. I said, to me, my wedding represented a new chapter of my life, and I'm no longer putting up with her toxic behavior. Just because she's family doesn't mean she needs to be a part of my life if this is how she acts. Obviously, this upsets my mom and my dad. They start crying, and some of my family members even leave my reception to go be with and comfort my little sister. Since the wedding, I have been getting calls and texts nonstop from everyone in my family saying that I needed to take responsibility for my bad behavior and apologize to my little sister because she didn't mean anything by what she did. She knew what she was doing. Like, this is the problem. This is why she acts the way she does, because they truly act like she's 100% in the right. Some members of my family have even suggested that I give my little sister my honeymoon so that she can relax, because this whole situation was so stressful for her. What, the situation she created? Like every situation she creates that, you know, causes issues for everybody. So my whole family thinks I'm in the wrong, but I don't. Neither does my husband or any of my friends. My bridesmaids who saw everything go down think it's absolutely insane that my family could defend her actions at all. I don't know. Maybe I should just apologize and let everything be peaceful in my family, but I cannot keep being a doormat.
Child, do I have a story for y'all. It all started when this beautiful girl follows me on Instagram. Over time, it's clear that we're very similar. Like all of her story posts, I'm like, that's literally me. Like, do we share a brain? Come to find out, we literally have like the same chart. She's a Libra rising, I'm a Libra rising. She's an Aries moon, I'm an Aries moon. The only difference is she's a Cancer and I'm a Capricorn, which they're compatible. All signs pointed to the fact that we'd be good friends, right? Wrong. The time comes and we're like, okay, let's actually meet. We FaceTime and it's so nice. It felt like God put her in my life for a reason. I had been thinking about taking a break from alcohol and taking a break from partying and focusing on my goals. Talking to her really solidified it. She was like asking me questions like, where do you want to be in 10 years? Like, do your 10-year plan in 6 months. For a Capricorn like me, that is like writing me a love letter. Like, that's what I want to be talking about. When I told her I'd been thinking about not drinking, she was like, I'm also taking a break from drinking. I'm a month sober right now. And like, we agree, okay, we're gonna hang out this weekend and we're just gonna have a wellness weekend. Not gonna drink, just gonna work out, create vision boards, just like hang out and get to know each other. It all seemed too good to be true. That should have been my sign. It was just so like, oh my God, God, you put her in my life for a reason. And it was a reason. It was a different reason though. The day comes where I'm supposed to go visit her. He lives a little bit away from me. Also, I'm not going to say who it is. I don't want y'all to try to find who this is. I respect this girl, you know. I wish her the best. She's just kind of weird. But anyways, he lives a little ways away from me. So she was like, okay, if you want to just like spend the night, like you can. I would hate for you to have to like drive all the way back. And I'm like, you know what? I hate driving. So that's actually perfect for me. Yes, I did realize it's a bit strange spending the night with a stranger. I want us to both know that I knew. In my defense, I've met up with a lot of men from the internet. I wasn't going to their house, but I was meeting up with men from the internet. So I'm like, I can meet up with this wholesome girl from the internet. Push comes to shove, I can take her. I can't take these men, but at least I have a fighting chance with the girl. And I just had a good feeling. Like, I'm a vibes person. And the vibes were right. Until they weren't. We went to this restaurant and something weird happens though. She orders a drink. I'm like, that's weird. You're a month sober. We're like having a sober weekend and you're ordering a drink? Okay, weird. Her ordering that drink was like a yellow flag. Everyone has a different relationship with alcohol. I'm not the drinking police, but it is kind of strange that we both agreed we're not drinking and boom, first meet, you get a drink. She doesn't just get one drink, she gets two. Okay, just a mental note. When you're first meeting someone, you just take mental notes like, okay, this is the type of person she is, you know? And the next morning, she wants to go on a hike. And I did want to go on the hike, but I was really nervous about sweating out my hair. My hair just gets messed up on this hike. And I'm telling her how I'm nervous because I have this brunch I have to get to. And the whole weekend I was making it known that I have a very important brunch that I have to go to. A weird thing that happens is I start complaining about how I know how to do makeup and how I help my friends do their makeup. And I was just like, I wish I had a friend like that with hair. Which at that point, she volunteers that she does hair. She knows how to do hair. She knows how to do all the styles. Which I say, then do my hair. And she's like, no. Well, I'm like, well, that was helpful. You don't have to do my hair, whatever. But why'd you bring up that you could do hair? Like, I don't know, was that a joke? It wasn't funny. It actually pissed me off because I was stressed about my hair. She wanted to go bowling with her guy friend and a friend of his. So it was like a double date. I was down for it, but I was stressed about my hair and I was feeling tired. Long story short, we show up at bowling. And guess what the first thing she does is? She gets a drink. Which to me is just weird. The first night you drinking, I can excuse that kind of in my head. The second night, I'm like, oh, she's not actually serious about this like sobriety journey with me, which is like fine, but why did you say you were? Like, that's the weird part. You know, you're like being inconsistent. And again, she doesn't just have one drink, she has two. Literally everyone I'm with is drinking. One guy there is like getting really drunk, like he's so handsy, so like, let's all go back to your place and we'll get a bottle. And I'm like, get a bottle? Oh hell, like I know that vibe, I know that night. I'm not doing that. That's not what I signed up for. I wanted a wholesome weekend. I wanted to make my fucking vision board. At this point, I'm thinking, you know what? I think after bowling, I'm just gonna go home tonight instead of in the morning because I have to figure out how to do my hair for this event. In hindsight, maybe I should have communicated when I was thinking about leaving earlier throughout the night. But my logic was, I don't want to embarrass her in front of her guy friends. Like, people are weird in front of other people. So once we're alone, I'll tell her that I'm gonna head out. Ciao. When we get in the car back to her place, I let her know, hey, I think I'm gonna head home tonight to be up early. Everything changes. We stop the music. She doesn't resume it. We were having a fun, bantery conversation. She gets so cold. One word answer. She's like, okay, fine. I don't care. Go. I didn't expect you to stay this long anyway. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And I'm like, communication's important in my friendships. Like, what's up? Like, no, I want you to leave. You should leave. I'm like using every ounce of emotional intelligence to like deduce why she's acting weird. And I'm like, oh, if you feel like uncomfortable in front of those guys, like, because one guy was her friend, like her close friend. So I was like, oh, she should be fine because that's her friend. Like, you know him longer than you knew me, girl. But anyways, I'm like, okay, maybe that's what it is. So I asked her, I'm like, oh, is that guy making you uncomfortable? Like, if you don't feel comfortable around him, like, I'll stay until he leaves. Like, and then she's like, yeah, that's what it is. I feel so uncomfortable around him. I really want you to stay. And I'm like, girl, why didn't you say that? That's fine. And she's like, no, I'm being sarcastic. What the fuck is going on? Why are we acting like this? Like, come on. We're grown. Let's use our words, babe. Weird vibes continue as I'm packing my stuff and leaving. Like, goes in her room, shuts her door, doesn't talk to me. When I get to my car, I'm like, I'll text her I got home safe and I'll reassure her that I had a good time. I just had to go home to prepare for this event. When I get to my car, I get a text that says, I don't want to be friends anymore. Take care. If someone tells me they don't want to be my friend, that's cool. You don't have to be my friend. I have enough. What you're not gonna do is silence me because I got some shit to say, bitch. I was gonna keep it cute. But now I gotta tell you about yourself because you're acting so weird. Like, why are you being weird? Because I wanna leave? I'm not gonna share the text messages because honestly, I wasn't my highest self. I told her that she's acting fucking weird. I suggested that she get some therapy and that she learn how to communicate better. Why would me leaving disrupt you like that? I can understand someone being a little disappointed that you're ending the party soon. Not like I'm just leaving to leave, but like, even if I was leaving to leave, why can't I leave? Like, this was so perplexing, so disturbing to my peace. One, I don't like how she reacted to this. Like, why just be like, I don't want to be your friend? Like, why was that the starting point of that conversation? I don't like that kind of communication. Also, no offense, we just met. Who's to say we were friends? We were acquaintances, but whatever. Even if we could resolve this issue, which I don't think we could, you acted weird too early on. Like, there's a threshold. You have to act weird like at least 5 friend meetups in. Like, if you're acting weird on the first friend meetup, like, that's a huge red flag, a red banner at this point, and nope. But the thing is, even if in some world I could make it past this, there's a fundamental difference between us because I'm a type of person who likes to leave when I'm ready to leave. You can ask any of my friends, when Tyla's ready to go, Tyla's gonna call her Uber. She will see you later. Like, that's my thing. I hate being anywhere for a second longer than I'd like to be. Girl, let me know. Like, was I wrong in this situation? Like, call me the fuck out. Am I the asshole?
Tell me why yesterday I literally caught my uncle talking shit about me. Yesterday I'm driving and I receive a text from him out of the blue. This text says, usually she's rude to everybody but me, but life consumes us all sometimes. I understand it. So I'm like, did this man just send this to me, but he's actually talking about me and meant to send it to someone else? I'm failing to mention the part because before that he did wish me a happy birthday and I just have not been answering my text messages. I'm reading this text. I'm like, is this motherfucker talking shit about me right now? I text him. I'm like, are you literally talking shit about me right now? Like, be so for real. Are you talking shit about me right now? He's like, oh my God, no, never. I'll post the screenshot to my Instagram story. Send it to Sissy. Sissy's like, no, he's definitely talking shit about you. I'm like, I know he's talking shit about me, but I'm like, I really don't care. I didn't answer the birthday text, like whatever. I deserve it, but I'm like, no, because like, but then I'm gaslighting myself. I'm like, no, he's not talking shit about me. Like, he loves me too much. I'm his favorite. He would never talk shit about me. No, the motherfucker was talking shit about me. My uncle was talking shit about me. My mom calls me later that night, and my mom was like, oh my gosh, your uncle texted me because he was wondering if he has, like, your right number, because I've changed my phone number a couple times, and he was like, he was wondering if he had your right number. I'm like, wait, why? And he was like, because he's saying your birthday text, you didn't respond. And then she reads me the exact text message he sent to me. One about me being rude to everybody except him, which is honest to God true. I was like, Mom, he literally sent that exact message
message to me, and I asked him if he was talking shit about me, and he said no. And I was like, no, I knew he was talking shit about me. I knew he meant to send that to you, but he's old. He's not that old. I just am mad. I'm like, he's old and doesn't know how to work his fucking cell phone, and sent it to me instead. I'm like, what world do I live in where my uncle is talking shit about me? Like, him and I are supposed to be like this, but I received the text message that he's talking shit about me. Be so for real. So I'm gonna talk shit about you online. But I love him, and I deserve that because I didn't answer his text because I forgot.
The actual audacity that some men have to tell another woman how to parent. No. Sorry, no. Firstly, I just want to say that I don't care if you agree with this style of parenting or not. This is what I'm choosing to do. Focus on your own children. Thank you. So recently I've been trying to teach my 2-year-old not to run away from me because obviously it's dangerous. I'm 35 weeks pregnant with my second child, and I want him to be aware of the dangers, okay? So I put it on my IG story the other day. I basically asked for advice on parents with children that are runaways, like mine, and so many people came back and said that it sounds really, really harsh, but you have to drill in the dangers to them. So enforcing things like you'll get squished by a car, somebody could come and take you away from mummy, and you could never see mummy again. Yes, of course, it sounds really, really horrible. That is the reality of the world that we live in, and our children need to be aware of these dangers. So due to this, I've only just started using these techniques. I was outside my flat yesterday, coming back from my mum's, holding these huge bags, trying to get them in, and Alfie kept running off from me. Charlie was there with me and went to grab him, and I said, no, I need to try and tell him to come back on his own. Can't always grab him, because especially when you're not there at this moment in time and when I have the baby, I may not be able to grab him, so he needs to know to come back. In hindsight, I should have given Charlie the bags, but it's not the point. Charlie went inside, and there was this workman working on one of the houses next door to my flat. I was stood at the entrance of my door, and I kept seeing this man look over at me, almost kind of looking at me confused why I wasn't going to grab my son. My area is very, very safe and very, very quiet, otherwise I would not have been practicing this technique. So I was stood at my front door, I could see Alfie perfectly fine, but I had this huge bag in my hand, and I said something like, come on Alfie, the man will come and get you. I was not talking about this workman, whether he was stood there or not. I've been using this in the last couple of days, saying things like, if you don't come with mummy, the man or the woman could come and get you, and you could never see mummy again. Really, really, really trying to drill it into his head, because yes, it sounds harsh, but that is the reality. This man obviously hears what I've just said and kind of shouts from across the house and says, that's horrible, no I won't. And I'm like, okay, that's not very helpful. Obviously thinks that I have directed this comment at him when that was not the case at all. But anyway, it was a stupid comment. I just ignored him. I didn't go over and grab Alfie at this point. I thought I'm gonna carry on trying this. Alfie's just ignoring me because he's a toddler, right? This workman then comes up and comes closer to me where his van is parked, and not in a horrible way or anything, but he just kind of shouts across to me, no disrespect, but you're installing fear into him. And I was like, excuse me? I am installing fear into him. That is the point, because I'm not saying these things for no reason. I'm saying these things because they could very well happen to him, and he needs to be very well aware of that. This is the entire point of what I am doing. It's not like I'm just saying these things because he's being particularly naughty. I am saying them because they are very, very real. It happens to many, many children. B, why are you getting involved? Why are you telling me how to parent my child? That was when it was very, very, very obvious to me that he had taken this very personally. He had thought that I was using him as a pawn in my parenting scenario, which actually was not the case at all. But he was a middle-aged man, and as for all men, they think that everything is to do with them. They think the world revolves around them, so I wasn't really surprised by that. Anyway, this really, really pissed me off. At this point, Alfie still wasn't coming in. I basically started walking over to Alfie, and I just shouted across to this man, no disrespect, but don't tell me how to parent. And then he says to me, all you had to do was go over there and grab him. And I'm like, do you not think that's what I've been doing for the last 6 months when he's been running away from me? I'm sorry, just at this point I'm just so angry with this man, because I'm like, stay out my damn business. I probably don't even have kids. If you do, your missus probably does it all. So I go over to grab Alfie because I'm fed up, don't want to listen to this man anymore. I basically just turned around and I just said, look, I'm 35 weeks pregnant. I'm stood at my front door trying to get my son to come in and trying to teach him the way of the world. If you really wanted to be helpful to me, you could have offered to help me in some sort of way instead of scrutinizing my parenting. I said, next time, keep your opinions to yourself. It's how you want to parent your children. That's absolutely fine, but do not tell me how to parent mine. And I picked up Alfie and he went, well, at least you're grabbing him now. And I was like, you know what, I actually just don't have any time for this man, and I just walked back in. Well, I probably wouldn't have taken the comment well if it was from a woman, but the fact that it was from a man, male, it's always the men. Sorry, I'm sorry. It is always the males. Have no idea about parenting, are the first to comment on your parenting. If your employee drives a blue van and works for JS Plumbing, Bathroom and Property Services, please tell him to keep his mouth shut and stay out of other people's business. Thank you.